calls for a 6 month shutdown.
Okay, you can't do that now. You can't. No, you can't do that. You rather just take my blood because I have enough blood that will even last you for 6 months. But my business here, the delivery of this property cannot be 6 months. You can't shut down. There's no collapse here now.
Hey, you know what, Toto? They're about to. I will seal this place 6 months. And we'll begin investigation. You know whether you want again.
Tell them to stop doing that nonsense now.
This is my sweat. You cannot feel it. Calm down now.
Oga, no. You cannot do my yawa. This is my sweat. Oga, leave me alone.
I will show you.
Oga, wait. This is my life. I cannot feel my wife. I cannot feel anything. No.
The movie begins with Waheed and Aliyah sitting in Maximus's house as Waheed talks about their friendship, how they both came to Lagos together, but now Maximus is far more successful than he is. They move to the dining table, wondering the kind of food the chef has served them. As the chef speaks French to them, they clearly do not understand the words he's saying, but they pretend they do, smiling at him and saying merci to everything he says. Mercedes is Maximus' wife. She joins them before her husband does, but Aliyah and Waheed are uncomfortable with the constant sarcastic insults from Mercedes and Maximus. But they remain calm and composed. Mercedes throws shade at Aliyah for being a content creator, while Maximus mocks Waheed for never succeeding in any business he ventures into. When it's time for them to head home, their car refuses to start. Another problem. Mercedes is standing beside her husband. She mocks them for having a bad car. Maximus goes to meet them, offering to take them home with his car, but they refuse. They decided to wait for their mechanic to come. While they were waiting for their mechanic to come, Aliyah sits with Mercedes and who talks down on her, asking her why she's so comfortable staying with a broke man and how she's so much of a babe to settle for less. Aliyu the mechanic arrives with his towing van and they have no choice but to ride home in it while he tows their car. While they are still in the towing van, Aliyah's father calls. After saying what he wanted to say, he goes right back to insulting Waheed, calling him a kangaroo instead of a husband, wondering why his daughter chooses to marry a man like him. Aliyah tries to defend her husband, but Alhaji refuses to stop talking, even though he knows that the phone is on loudspeaker and Waheed can hear every single thing he says. They finally get home that night, only to be welcomed by their caretaker with another round of insults. Wait, is it not a crime to be poor? And from the look of things, these people don't look poor like that. After dinner, the couple sits together, chatting happily, and Aliyah encourages her husband, assuring him that one day they will make good money and they will live a good life here in Lagos and buy designers. The next morning, Waheed received a call from the engineer at his construction site. He hurriedly gets dressed and rushes there, only to discover that part of the building he's supervising has collapsed. Mogbe. Meanwhile, Aliyah is attending an event with other content creation. She tries to take photo with the host, Brownie Girl, but she refuses. Back at the construction site, Waheed is trying to sort things out with his engineer when the officials from the building regulatory agency arrive after they have received reports about the collapsed building. Waheed and his engineer try to convince them that the structure is safe, that there is nothing wrong in the house, there is no collapse in the building. But the official insists they are going to shut down the building for the next 6 months. Waheed, being who have failed in so many businesses, he refuses. He couldn't take this one. He cannot stand to fail his wife again this time. He pleaded with them not to shut down the building for 6 months, that 6 months is too long, but they refused it. So he started fighting with them. The officers hold him down to the ground and arrest him. Aliyah received a call informing her that her husband has been arrested, so she leaves the event immediately. She secures his release, and because she knows the officer in charge, she pleads with him to help her husband, but he tells her there is very little he can do. This case will have to remain on hold for the next 6 months. They later meet another official who explained to them that she can only help after 3 months because only the director has the authority to reduce or cancel the penalty, and it won't be available till after 3 months. 3 months is still too long for Waheed. As they are still talking, Aliyah noticed the pictures of the director on the wall and recognizes him as one of the men she has seen in Maximus' photo. So she suggests that they meet Maximus and asks him for help, but Waheed refuses. Quick disclaimer, this recap is for educational purposes only and is not meant to replace the original movie. Okanjuwa is showing on Kava TV. Welcome to Nolly Movie Recap. If you are new here, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you. The next moment, Waheed is already at Maximus' house, asking him for help to arrange a meeting with the director. Maximus agrees and he calls the director. But the director explains that he is currently out of town, but however, he will return for the Ileya festival. Before traveling to Dubai for the next 3 months, Maximus immediately invites him for the Ileya party, promising him that this is the best Ileya celebration ever he will ever experience, with complete delicious food, entertainment and beautiful ladies just as he likes them. The director agrees, then Maximus says to Waheed,
You have an Ilea party to plan.
Eh?
Waheed is shocked. Oh, more. Guys, how did we move from talking to the director to planning a party? He complained of not having enough money to throw any party. Apparently, the money he's using for that project, he borrowed it from the bank and he needs to complete the project so that the interest of the bank will not go too high. Massimo then explained to Waheed why hosting this party is necessary. According to him, throwing a lavish party will make the director see him as an important man. Waheed still does not understand the idea because he simply doesn't have that kind of money to waste on a party. His wife also convinced him that this is their only opportunity and perhaps Maximus's idea isn't such a bad one after all. Waheed goes to buy the ram for the Ileya festival and preparation for the party just begin. Later, they go to meet Maximus and his wife to update them on how the preparation is going. As usual, Maximus and Mercedes continue throwing subtle insults while showing off their wealth just to pepper them. Finally, the day of the party arrives. Caterers begin bringing in food while Aliyah goes around creating content, giving instruction. Alhaji, Aliyah's father, arrives, dancing with his group. Waheed welcomes him warmly, but instead of appreciating his effort, Alhaji starts complaining that nothing is ready and how he would have gone for another Alhaji's party, but he is here in a shameful party. Waheed doesn't argue because he's already used to his father's-in-law insult. Elsewhere, Aliyah confronts Branley for refusing to post the party flyer even after collecting payment for publicity. Branley argues with her at first, but Aliyah grabs her phone. She finally agrees to post the flyer. As Waheed is still talking with Alhaji, Aliyah's cousin whispers something into his ears. Moments later, he returns with a goat. Wait, didn't they pay for a ram? Why is he bringing a goat? Alhaji uses this opportunity to mock Waheed for not being able to provide a proper yam for this Ileya festival. To make matters worse, the drink delivered for the party turns out to be alcoholic. Can anything possibly go right at this party? Well, we are about to find out. Waheed rushes back to where he bought the ram and realizes he has been scammed. The seller tells him that if he truly wants a ram, he must fight one for it. Surprisingly, Waheed agrees. He's taken to an open arena where he wrestles with a ram. After several struggles, Aliyah's cousin calls her, telling her that her husband is fighting with a ram. She tells him to give the phone to her husband. Coincidentally, Waheed falls on the ground, just close enough for him to hear his wife speak on the phone. She encourages him to return home with the ram, and he promises her he will. Eventually, he returned triumphantly with the ram and feeling extremely proud of himself. Meanwhile, Aliyah is at the back, shouting at Madam Abike, the caterer, because everything is running behind schedule. The head caterer ignores her completely and speaks only to Aliyah's sister, praising herself for always being dependable. Guys, this woman is obviously nonchalant about everything that is happening. How is she even dependable? Or more. As Waheed is getting dressed inside his house, he hears voices outside. He rushes out to discover that Brownie and her boyfriend have come looking for Aliyah because of what happened earlier. Thankfully, the matter is settled peacefully. The director finally arrives with his entourage. He is pleasantly surprised to see Alhaji because, according to him, Alhaji once helped him during a very difficult period in his life. They exchange pleasantries and the party officially begins. There's plenty of food, dancing and entertainment. Even Madam Abike doesn't disappoint, just as she has promised. Now, back to business. The director agrees to grant Waheed a waiver, but there is one condition. Waheed must increase the selling price of the house units above their original value, and the extra profit will be shared among the director, Maximus, and himself, with the director taking a larger share. Waheed immediately feels uncomfortable with the arrangement. Maximus pressures him to accept the offer, and even Aliyah believes it is the answer to their prayers, trying to convince him to take the offer. However, Waheed can't bring himself to compromise his integrity. After talking with him privately, Aliyah changes her mind and assures him that she will support whatever decision her husband makes. Waheed walks up to address his guests. He thanks everybody for attending before speaking about his late father, who was a drunkard. He explained how he promised himself never to become like him and that he has shown integrity, even when it comes with a great cost. Aliyah walks over to stand beside him to support him and show her love for him. Mercedes becomes very furious and begins insulting both of them. As Aliyah tries to respond, Mercedes slaps her, and then she slaps her again. Immediately, chaos breaks out. The director gets up to leave, but Waheed stops him. He boldly declares that he will never give him the waiver because he brought him here to insult him by comparing him to his stupid drunk father. Just as the director turns to walk out, Alhaji, who has always looked down on Waheed, dares the director that if he doesn't give Waheed the waiver that he asks for, that the director will lose his job. The director walks out without saying a word. We then discover that the supposedly wealthy Maximus and his wife were actually drowning in debt. He was never trying to help Waheed at all. Instead, he has secretly inflated the cost of drinks, knowing fully well that Waheed was already struggling financially, and he just wanted to use that opportunity to make more money to pay his debt. As Maximus and Mercedes prepare to leave, their expensive car suddenly refuses to start. While they were arguing about it, Aliyu, the mechanic, knocked at their window. Just like Waheed and Aliyah earlier in the movie, Maximus and Mercedes end up riding home in a towing van. A year later, the build has been completed and successfully sold. Waheed and Aliyah are also expecting their first child. This movie beautifully explores friendship, family, deception, love, integrity, and the danger of pretending to be what you are not. It is also packed with plenty of hilarious moments that you definitely enjoy watching it with your loved ones. If you are watching this recap to this point, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on your notification bell so that you will not miss more exciting movie recap and review. Thank you for watching.